Hi, I'm Marshall from StrataGames, and today we are playing some Rainbow Black Sack. This is a deck that I've brewed pretty recently, but been playing quite a bit in Pauper. I went 8-0 with it across 2 local events, and then I took it to a win-a-duel event, where I ended up taking down the whole event and getting a Badlands. There's a tournament report on that event. If you want to see that, there's a link in the description. We also have a new podcast called The Familiar Podcast, and the latest episode is about brewing this deck. So if you're interested more for the exact reasons why we're playing certain cards, go ahead and check that out. And we also recorded the matches that we played at that event, and there will be a video later this week where me and Peter are commentating on those matches. So I hope you like this deck because I've made a ton of content on it at this point. But if you're unfamiliar, the general premise is that we're playing Black Sacrifice with Bloodthrone Vampires, Carrion Feeders, Mortician Beetles, all going to be growing as we sacrifice our fodder, which is Nezumi Linkbreakers, Shambling Ghasts, Greedy Freebooters, Infestation Sage, and Nested Shambler. Now the reason we're playing Greedy Freebooter, a card that doesn't usually see play in here, is because of course the Rainbow element of the deck. We are using the treasures from the Freebooter and the Shambling Ghast to splash all of the cards in our sideboard, as well as a Teamer Battle Rage and Fling in our main deck. We also have Supernatural Stamina to combo with our Nested Shambler to make a ton of squirrels. We have a 1 of Infestation Sage, just because we had 1 space left over to fit this in. We're playing 3 Unearths, 4 Village Rites for some card draw, and a Cursed Marauder as some removal. 17 Swamps, of course, is the right number. Then in our sideboard, we have Mask of Law and Grace for those black and red removal matchups, Dispel for those general removal matchups, be it Cast Downs, Thraben Charms, Ram Throughs, whatever. Blue Elemental Blast is really helpful against Mono Red Madness, Rakdos Madness, but also at countering a Krark Clan Shaman. Snuff Out is just super helpful against Elves, Spy, or any creature matchup. We have another Teamer Battle Rage and Fling for the matchups where those are really good, and a 1 of Flaring Pain for any matchups playing Prismatic Strands or just general fogs. So pretty excited. Let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. All right, we are on the play here, which is a good start. We have a pretty okay hand if we get a sack outlet of any kind. It's pretty bad if we don't. I think this is generally a hand you should not keep, especially on 7. We can do better, and this is better. We'll get rid of a Village Rites and go for a Shambler to start. I could lead on the feeder, of course, but then if it gets killed, I don't love that. I could unearth it, but I'm just not getting as much value as if I unearth a Shambler. And a Beetle is a nice draw. Now, if I go for Carrion Feeder and Beetle, they both are dying to 1 bolt, which I don't love. So I think we're going to attack for 1. They're going to block. Interesting. And I'm just going to go for an Unearth on the Shambler. So we have enough to keep this alive through 1 bolt. If they do go for that and then have a Lava Dart, maybe it's not great. But if they go straight for a Grab the Prize, getting a Snacker back, that's fantastic for us, because I get to play a Beetle and now have 2 4/4s. If I'm lucky, I top deck like a Stamina, or medium lucky, I just get like another fodder creature. Okay, Carrion Feeder. Let's go for a Beetle. I actually think we are just going to play the Feeder and honestly sacrifice it just to keep these guys pretty large. Let's get them out of range of a Lava Dart immediately. I honestly think the second Feeder is less valuable at this moment than a Shambler, and anything I sacrifice here is going to be the same amount of damage. Not exactly true. I could sack the Shambler and the Squirrel for an extra 1, but I think I'd rather just keep these all around just in case. So let's pass it back. They have a Flame Breather. No attacks with the Snacker. That makes sense. Vampire. I could play a Vampire, but I think I'd rather sack the Squirrel and try to find Stamina or another fodder creature or something, as Vampire just dies in this matchup pretty easily and doesn't do a lot for us. Worst case, if we got 2 Swamps, I could still play the Vampire. But a Link Breaker is not a bad draw at all. Deciding if they want to do anything before it comes down. If they have a Fire Blast that they're willing to use, they could definitely kill off something here. And they are jumping straight to the nuclear option, sacrificing 2 lands to a Fire Blast to kill the Beetle. Okay, so we'll sack the Shambler here. Shambler plus Squirrel would keep the Beetle alive. Get a counter here. Make sure all your triggers resolve before you sack again. Sack the Squirrel. Now if they want to like Lava Dart it or something, that's fine. I can just keep the Feeder pretty big. This is going at the Beetle, so it'll take 4. They have a Dart. Yeah. So I could sack the Carrion Feeder to itself, but then they can sack their last land to kill the Beetle. That's not great. So let's just sack the Beetle, which I do lose, but they've lost a lot of lands, and now I still have a giant Feeder, which I assume is going to get chump blocked. Maybe not. Do I want to sack the Link Breaker then? Make this 6 or even 7 damage. Go to 9, or I just put them to 11. 11, I'm not going to have lethal next turn necessarily, so I think we do this. If I deal 6, they go to 10, and then I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have lethal next turn this way. So I think this is the right call then. Attack the Flame Breather. I think I'm going to take it because currently I need this to deal enough damage. If we get a Shambling Ghast and can pick off the Snacker, that'll just give us lethal, unless they play another creature here. Another Grab the Prize with a Looting. Yeah, Shambling Ghast would be game. Another Link Breaker. Well, I want to get down the Vampire. Like, if I pump this here, they probably block because they're worried. They'd be worried about like a stamina or something. And then I could play Vampire, which could be lethal next turn. Lava Dart. I only have one thing to sacrifice to keep it alive. But if they use 2 removal spells on it, that's probably fine anyway. Yeah, they're going to block. I wish that I could have like another Link Breaker down to really protect this Vampire, but I think it's better to do this because then we have potentially 2 lethal attackers rather than just a couple more Link Breakers, which doesn't really speed up our clock enough. They just cast Gutter Snipe. Okay. Well, with 2 lethal attackers, they'll have to block them both. Unless they have like a Fire Blast and another Dart. Play a Link Breaker, play a Link Breaker. Either can be lethal, which means I probably just attack with the Mercenary by itself because they will already need to jump block them both. Yeah, I guess they were just hoping that the Vampire wouldn't be lethal, but it is. And with them fully tapped out, the most damage they could deal is 5 to a single thing. Lava Dart plus another Fire Blast. I guess if they had that, that would be lethal on us already. Fire Blast would be 7 damage, Lava Dart would be 4, so they can't have a Fire Blast unless they were slow rolling us. There's a Lava Dart to us. Well, let's see if they were slow rolling. I assume they're just trying to get in the damage before they lose their guys. Pump here, eat their guys. All right, we're at 7. We could die if they top deck a Fire Blast and have like a Bolt. Hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, we win that game. And now we get our blue blasts and our Masks of Lawn Grace in exchange for, don't think we need Fling, Temur Battle Rage, cut a Vampire, cut the Marauders, cut the Sage, I think. So we can kill Gutter Snipe with these if we want. I'm cutting a Vampire, but if we get a Vampire with a Mask of Lawn Grace, that can also just be lethal pretty quick. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Oh, no Carrion Feeder or Sack Outlet at all, but we have the treasures for both of these. If this were a Carrion Feeder, I'd snap keep. I don't think we can keep it, unfortunately. No Sack Outlet still, but we have Shambler with Stamina. We're on 6. I think we keep this. We gotta just hope for something. Carrion Feeder, ideally. Link Breaker. Play a Link Breaker. Flame Breather. We're just gonna play a couple of guys. This is why this type of hand doesn't usually work, is you don't draw your Sack Outlet, you just have a bunch of 1/1s, which is pretty bad. Grab the prize with an Epicure. They pass. No Carrion Feeder. Swing with the team. Block the Freebooter, because it's the one that doesn't give us creature. All right, Vampire. It's good enough. It's not ideal. You know what I mean? Link Breaker. Pass. Fiery Temper to the Blood Token. We're at 12. It's probably going to be too slow. Maybe they draw poorly enough. The Vampire next turn into something will get there. Vampire. They were too scared to block last turn with the Flame Breather, so I feel like I can probably get this attack in here. And I could go for a Stamina here, but I think doing that now and then being susceptible to an End the Festivities on their turn when our Vampire wouldn't be able to use the buff is really bad. Let's not do that. Speaking of, there's End the Festivities. So now we're going to Stamina. They're going to Bolt it. So now I get to sack it here. So this is dying anyway. And then the squirrel's going to die, so we might as well sacrifice that. But the Festivities is going to kill the Link Breakers, but leave us with the Mercenaries, so we might as well not sack those. Fortunately, 1 Festivities and a Lightning Bolt sets us back to having 2 fodder creatures and a Vampire. Unearth can do a little bit of work here, but unless we get another Stamina off the top, which would be great, I'm not sure we're going to be able to deal enough here. I mean, I can still bring back Shambler, and I can pump it with 2 Mercenaries, which would be 4, 5, 6. So it's 13 damage, so not quite lethal. But maybe they're scared of a Stamina or something, instant speed, and they do go for a block. That'd be kind of nice. Hardcast a Fiery Temper at us. Sure. Feels like that means they are going to block. Cool. I'm going to sack the Shambler because we only have the pump at sorcery speed. It's a little unfortunate if they get another End the Festivities. In fact, it's extremely unfortunate, but it's what we got to do. Highway Robbery. Sack a Mountain. Bolt. We're at 2. I assume if they're bolting, they have lethal. Fire Blast. Yeah, we just kept a hand that didn't really get there because we drew the Sack Outlet too late. Should have probably gone to 5, but if that 5 was worse, then we might not have even had a shot. All right, this hand is, it's a 1-lander, but otherwise it's incredible. Carrion Feeder Beetle combo, Shambler Stamina combo. So we're going to keep and hope we draw a Swamp. Start with a Ghast, a Feeder, swing. I'll play a Feeder since I have a second one. If they go for a Dart, I can sack the Ghast. If they go for a Bolt, I'll probably just let it die. They're going to respond by darting the Ghast. Okay, fair enough. That's interesting. So now I could play like a Shambler or something. Of course, they could dart it, but then they're sacking their land. I could play a Beetle, but they're both susceptible. I could play another Feeder. I could also just hold up Blue Elemental Blast, which might be the play. I think that is. I mean, chances are they just go for a Bolt on this, and I'll let it go. If they go for like a Grab the Prize, I'll probably Blue Blast it. Highway Robbery. Ugh, it's just a 1-for-1. These cards are busted. I'm just going to let it go. This should mostly be for protection. Again, I would have countered like a Grab the Prize probably, but they discard a Mountain. Give me that Swamp, please. Village Rites. So I could like Shambler Beetle. I could Shambler Stamina, but they could either Lava Dart it, or they could just have it in the festivities, and I'm using up my Blast potential. Attack for 1. They're gonna Lava Dart it. Oh, well, they sacked a land. I mean, I could Blast this. I could Stamina. I could just Village Rites it, try to hit our land drop. I kind of think that's fine. Yeah, there we go. We hit the swamp. They sacked a land, so we're not even that far behind now. So let's play a Shambler and pass. Next turn, I could go for Feeder Beetle Stamina if I want. If they tap out, that's probably the call. They plot a Highway Robbery. We get another Beetle. Obviously, if I was using all of this, I'd be out of treasures, so I wouldn't have the Blue Blast. But I would have a potential 2 6/6s. It's got to be worth it. I wish I could play the third Beetle too, but I can't do that and then also have these up. They could Fire Blast the Carrion Feeder, but they have to have lands at some point. I think this is the play. I know it's unfortunate because we're tapping out of the Blue Blast, which is the tech, but if we're trying to win, I think this is how we do it. Because then we have an army. If they've been in the festivities, we just get these to be 2 7/7s actually, not 6/6s, because this is 6 sacrifices. They could Fire Blast this, but again, I don't see how they're winning because I still have 2 3/3s. They are going to do that. I mean, obviously I wish I had the Blue Blast, but okay. I mean, I respect it. And they could just play a Mountain, bolt one of these two. I'd probably keep the Feeder alive if they do that. There's the Robbery. They don't want to sack a Mountain. They seem to love that so much. All right, they do have a Fiery Temper. Either way, I get to choose which of these I keep if they do throw this at one of them. And I should probably keep the Feeder because I already have a Beetle. They're going for the Carrion Feeder. So we'll sack the Squirrel and we'll sack the Beetle. Keep the Feeder alive. Shambler. Let's just do a Beetle and a Link Breaker. Swing. Get this above Lava Dart range. Plus we want a Mercenary for this Shambler anyway. Hit for 5. They're going to bolt the Beetle. Fair enough. We get a Swamp. Pump here. Attack. Sacrifice. And hit them for 7. There's an Epicure as a blocker. Give me a Shambling Ghast. Aw. If I got a Shambling Ghast, then I could pick this off with the -1/-1. Or I could make a treasure and then Blue Blast the Epicure, which I'd probably do for the style points. But we'll put them to 4 here. And the festivities. See, this is really what I wanted to be countering with the Blue Blast. But, I mean, forcing them to sack 2 lands to the Fire Blast was obviously the right choice. Now they have to have a chump blocker every single turn. So we'll take 1. They must have another Epicure. Oh, they don't. All right, well, we take that match down. All right, round 2 here. We're against Serrated Scorpion, who I played against in the finals of the Win-A-Duel. I'm mostly joking. We played against a zombie deck with some Scorpions in it. Let's mulligan this one. This one is okay. It's not my favorite. I wish that this was a Beetle, one of these guys. But on 6, we'll keep it for sure. Does not look like they're going to be playing Serrated Scorpions today. Just bolt us immediately. Message received. Another Ghast. Let's go for a Link Breaker and pass. Oh, they are Rakdos. Maybe they do have Scorpions. Plot a Highway Robbery. Unearth. I think we play a Carrion Feeder, sack a Link Breaker, and immediately unearth it. So this can be a 5/5. Doesn't survive 2 bolts, but it survives 1 pretty handily. They would need to have like an untapped red and double bolt to be able to do that. Here's a Carnarium. Into the Robbery. Discard a Temper. 3 to the face. I think we'll sack this Link Breaker to get the Mercenary. That was the exact reason to not do that, was in case I drew a Stamina, I would want to use it on a creature that dies and makes 2 creatures, but that's okay. Here's a Feeder. We'll pass. I mean, we're hitting pretty hard here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. So any random creature, well, double body creature would probably give us lethal next turn if they don't have blockers, but the Shambling Ghasts can pick off a blocker or 2. Even a Kitchen Imp I could like double ping down if I really need to. There's a Kitchen Imp. We'll see if they go on the offensive or not. Also discard a Snacker, but it's probably going to be too slow for it to be really relevant here. They do go for the attack. Let's see what we can get. Beetle's good. It's not going to contribute to damage this turn, though, but it makes it so next turn is like a guarantee win if we don't die. Let's just do our math again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Yeah, I'm going to play these, pump here, swing, and to deal additional damage, I kind of want to pick this off with the 2 ghasts. We get in for 2 more damage. Currently, they're taking 7, going to 7. Pretty much lethal anyway, no matter what. Yeah, I think we kill off this kitchen imp. I think it's going to be pretty tough for them to deal 12 damage in a turn if we've killed their imp. Plus, that means they have very few blockers, because Snacker is not going to block. Maybe they can get 1 or 2 more with the kitchen imp and an epicure, but we should have 3 lethal attackers. They could gain some more life with a couple of Alms of the Veins, but that's another reason to push more damage. Here's a kitchen imp and a fiery temper. Kitchen imp. Madness off the swamp, even though they're about to madness a fiery temper, is interesting. Unless they're not going to, because they're going to float a black here anyway. They might as well have used it on the imp, but whatever. That is going face. They have a land drop still. Vampire's Kiss, but this can't kill us. Even if they had like a fire blast, which would be crazy in this deck, they won't be able to kill us, and then we can get them on the crackback. Oh, nice. Link Breaker. Pump. I mean, this is 11 damage. No need to even get fancy. We'll just deal them lethal. All right. So here, Blow Mental Blast for sure. I'm not sure about the Mask of Law and Grace. Obviously, it's pro with their entire deck. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be good. I will say, often they'll play some Extract Confessions from the sideboard, which doesn't protect them here. And I was going to say Dark Withering, but that's already non-black, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, it still seems good enough to give protection from everything. Marauder doesn't seem good enough. I don't think we'll need the Fling or the Battle Rage over the protection here, because I think as long as we can keep our guy alive, we should be able to win the race almost every time. Vampire's worse here, and we'll actually cut a Link Breaker, I think, because the Sage could be like a crucial chump block or something. So they don't have as many removal spells as Mono Red, so I'm not as sure about the Mask of Law and Grace here, but I mean, it's literally pro their entire deck. I feel like it's got to be worthwhile. This hand is not great. We do have the Village Rites, which is kind of a sack outlet. I mean, it is just for 1 turn. So we play Shambler turn 1, and then we Village Rites it. We'll give it a try. It has some decent potential for sure. Shambling Ghast is also decent. Go for a Shambler. Carnarium, immediately bounce the Jagged Barrens. With no 1-drop is nice. Oh, unless they're going to bolt us in response. Okay, fair enough. They just sequenced it differently. They are going to bolt us. Another Ghast. Of course, I could Beetle, Village Rites the Shambler here. They're probably just going to kill the Beetle. I could play the Beetle and hold up the Rites, so when they try to kill it, which they probably will, I could sack it and then I can always unearth it. That actually seems kind of decent. If they don't try to kill it and they're just trying to kill us, then I can just sack the Shambler on the end step. Jagged Barrens, Faithless Looting, into a Kitchen Imp. If we get a Carrion Feeder or maybe even a Vampire, we have, I think, a pretty good shot here because they didn't kill the Beetle and we're drawing 2, but we really need to get something off of this. I mean, we're at 13, so let's draw. There's the Feeder. I'll even take a second one. All right, now things get started. We can just hit for an enormous amount. I could sack a Ghast to play another Ghast if I want to really go fast, into maybe even a Feeder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bet they're going to be able to kill us not this next turn, but the following turn, so I need to have a plan to kill them in 2 turns. But do I want to sack or keep this Shambling Ghast to pick off this Imp? I want to keep this in case I get a Stamina. I think we sack the Ghast to make another Feeder here, and we keep this Ghast. We attack for 4, and now we have 3 pretty good attackers next turn. Probably not lethal, because if they jump the Beetle, these won't both be growing. That's fine. Grab the prize with a Kitchen Imp. That's going to hurt. But they have to have blockers, because otherwise we can just kill. Like, this is 5, 6, 7, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to sacrifice. So that's 15 if they have no blockers. Bolt us. I mean, if they attack us right here, they're dead. But surely they don't attack with both. Okay. Well, I don't think they did the math. They're not dead on board. We need 1 creature, but 1 creature is not a lot. Let me do the math to make sure. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I could Village Rite something, but it actually loses me a damage. And on the off chance I totally whiff, there's no reason to. Since they left no blockers, we will hit them for 15 damage. All right, we take down match 2. Round 3 here, we definitely got a mulligan. Oh, it's still round 3. Hand 2, we're on Mulda 6. I mean, Fling with Vampire is pretty cool, but this hand is completely unkeepable. And this one is good enough on 5, but we got to put back the Teamer Battle Rage and the Shambling Ghast. We got to get rid of all the spice, unfortunately. We'll start with a Link Breaker and pass. All right, something different here for sure. I think we're going to hope to not get Dispelled. There's not a lot of Force Spikes and Spell Pierce in the meta right now, but Dispel's pretty prevalent. Well, I guess we won't get Dispelled. We will get Force Spiked. Pretty unfortunate for sure. I could have waited till they tapped out. Didn't feel like that was a great idea just because I wanted to hit that land drop now, but would have been safer for sure. I think if we were on like 7, I probably would have waited because safer is better there. But mulliganing to 5, you kind of got to make some plays that are just higher upside because we're down in card advantage. So we're not going to be able to 1-for-1 them the most efficiently because we're going to lose that battle. So you kind of have to make some decent upside plays, and that was one of them. That didn't work out, and then they brainstorm into another Force Spike. Looks like Mono Blue Terror to me. This is generally a favored matchup, but I would say that if we get Force Spiked twice and are stuck on one land, probably going to lose this one. You never know, though. Swing for 1. I'll try to get down a Carrion Feeder. Again, high upside if it resolves, but they have the counterspell. And a Mental Note hits Brainstorm Dispel. Dispel and Force Spike, interesting. So they're immediately able to play Serpents. If they play like 3 Serpents, we're certainly going to lose. Start with a Brainstorm, though, is a good sign that they don't have that. Or at least don't have that plus like a counterspell or something. I don't know. There's one Terror. I can survive 1, maybe. Let's go for a Feeder, see if it gets countered. Mental Note. Mills a Lorien and an island. No Force Spike. All right. I mean, if they only keep 1 Terror on board, we legitimately could have a shot here because we could just like chump block it and start dealing them damage. But I assume we're going to see another Serpent or maybe a Lorien revealed to pull them out of their low card advantage here. Part of me wants to keep this Mercenary as well for the Shambler if I unearth it. But I think I just need to get some damage on them with the Carrion Feeder. If they play another creature, it's not going to happen anyway. But there's a Cryptic Serpent. Play a Link Breaker. Pass. Swing. We'll go for a chump. Make a Mercenary. Take 5. They pass. Play another Link Breaker. Attack for 4 here. Yeah, let's do that. They're 13. Play an island. Swing with both. I'll go for a block. Sacrifice. Take 5. They pass. Swamp. If I unearth a Link Breaker, or not a Link Breaker, a Shambler, I can pump it with Mercenaries and sack it, but then again, I have no chump blockers, so I need chump blockers. So actually what I think I'm going to do is unearth another Link Breaker. See if they want to counter that. No. Let's play a Carrion Feeder. If they have a Sleep of the Dead that they've been sandbagging, they can use it 3 times. I'm going to lose the game anyway if I don't attack, even if I don't attack with any of these. But they might have to use a draw spell to find a Sleep of the Dead, and then I might not die. This can be lethal next turn anyway. Can this one be lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost. I think I'm just going to attack here. Hope they don't have the Sleep of the Dead they've been sandbagging. It feels like they would have started using it when I only had 1 blocker, but I could have sacrificed... Oh, I'm not dead, actually, because I can sacrifice the Link Breaker after they tap it to make a Mercenary. So I wouldn't be dead to that. And now, look at this. I mean, they've drawn really poorly. 8 islands. I'm not denying that. But we actually have a shot here. Let's draw. Shambler. Oh, I almost sacrificed the Link Breaker to make another Mercenary, and I didn't. With a Shambler here, I almost wish I did. I'm not expecting any instant speed interaction. So how big can I make this? I could do double Mercenary on the Shambler. So this is going to make 3 squirrels plus the Shambler. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sacrifices. So this could be 13, 13. So I can definitely eat both of them if they double chump. But this can also be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lethal. So they're going to have to block here. And if they do that, I can sacrifice 6 here and 2 here. I can make them double chump. Yeah, double chump, and then I just kill them next turn. Now, if they have something weird like a Vapor Snag or Boomerang, I'm definitely going to walk into that and lose. They don't block this one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I got to go for it, right? Got to go for lethal. Again, if they have a Vapor Snag or a Boomerang, I'm not expecting. They were playing Force Spikes, but here we go. 7, 8. I'm actually going to sacrifice this Carrion Feeder. Lethal. Oh, I did that so that I had the Mercenary to block, so if they did have something, I could still chump block. I'd still probably be dead because I'd have lost everything. And that is why this deck is extremely favored in this matchup. Did you think we were going to win that game at any point until like the last turn, maybe the second to last turn? I certainly didn't, because we were so far behind. We were on 1 land, mulligan to 5. And again, they drew pretty poorly, but that's sometimes just what you need. All right, so Snuff Out, Marauders are good here. Fling is too risky. If they were a blue deck that tapped out a little bit more at their end step, I might keep these in, but they don't even usually do that much. And after turn, 3 or whatever. Dispel seems good enough to bring in, though. What can we cut out? Vampire is not very good. Sage is not great. I mean, it's fine. Stamina is too good. It's cut Unearth and 1 Link Breaker, I guess. Maybe we cut a second Vampire and just try to make sure to keep a sack outlet, which we already all try to do. All right, this hand looks pretty good. I mean, we get 4 spiked. We don't have a way to cast this Dispel. And Snuff Out's not incredible against terrors if we don't have the swamps. So maybe this hand's not good enough, actually. Yeah, it's got some stuff. I think we're going to mulligan. I mean, I could see getting a much worse hand. This one I think is okay. It's probably a little worse because we can't cast our Vampire, but we do have these guys for this. We have Stamina. We'll keep this. Neither of these hands are very exciting, I'll be honest. And we could definitely lose with them. Let's do a freebooter so we can maybe get a Scry off if we get like a Village Rites or Carrion Feeder or something. They cycle a Lorien for a different kind of island. Crazy. What a world we live in. We do get our Swamp, so I mean, I guess I go for a Vampire. Obviously, we don't really want to play into counter spells, but we have 2. Are we going to just never cast anything? Probably not. So we're hoping that they either don't have a counterspell, or if they have one here, that they don't have one next turn. Plus, if we're able to get this to resolve, then we can have Dispel or Stamina up from the freebooter. They go for a Mental Note, mill a counterspell. Love to see that. See if they pick up a 4 spike. Another Mental Note. Mill a 4 spike and a Mystic. So that's 5 spells in the yard. Okay. I mean, Vampire is really not the best against terrors because we literally cut 2 of them and we have 2 of them. So that's really annoying. It's not the best because you have to sacrifice 3 things to be able to keep your Vampire alive, and then you just run out of fodder too quickly. So not the best strat against terrors. That's what we got, though. Ponder, that puts him at 6 spells. There's a Serpent. Would love a Snuff Out then. Do I want to go for an upkeep sacrifice to Scry? If I do, I can attack with a Vampire if I play a Shambling Ghast. But then even if they block, I just lose so much to their one guy. That's the problem. I think no. Didn't really want another Dispel, to be honest. Yeah, so I could attack here, and then I have to trade Stamina, Freebooter, Shambling Ghast to keep our guy alive. So I'm really just looking for removal on the Serpent or like a Beetle. Mystic. Give me a Snuff Out. I think we're going to go for the Scry now because I really need to hit a Snuff Out or we're going to lose. I don't want a Swamp. I guess a Nested Chambler would be okay too. Oh, look at that. Now, I wish we could use it on the Serpent and not the Mystic, but that's really not going to be allowed. Oh, you know what? I can actually just Stamina on the Vampire here to trade with the Serpent, and I wouldn't have to sack the Ghast, so that's something. Okay, they take 3, Snuff Out the Mystic. We'll play another Vampire. They're paying costs. Oh, they're gut-shotting a Shambling Ghast. I was going to say I would love to see a foil here because we have the Dispel. Gut shot. Obviously, they're just trying to get a 1-1. I do get to then pick off the 1-1 with the Ghast. Do I want to Stamina the Ghast? I feel like Ghast is not enough upside that I really need like a Shambler that I'm going to keep this. I am going to pick off the... I should have sacrificed it so that this... in case they have 3 more gut shots or something, but whatever. Another treasure is another Dispel, but I have to just get rid of the bird, right? It's a chump blocker, and I'm looking for removal for this anyway. No, actually, I think I get a treasure here, because why have 2 Dispels if I can't use them? So if I get, like, Nested Shambler or Stamina, I can have double protection for them. Do I counter a Mental Note? I don't think so. It hits Counterspell Lorien, so that's fine. Brainstorm, I don't think I'm going to counter either. Maybe I should, because this is 3 new cards. They could potentially play a bunch of terrors here I can't deal with, but they're going to attack for 7. Just got to take it, I think. Now a Serpent. Give me a Cursed Marauder. I can kill both Serpents with it. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. That's incredible. I am going to have to use a treasure token for it, but it's well worth it. If they have a Dispel... Guess who else has a Dispel? It's me. Haha. Attack for 2. See, these are so pathetic. That's the problem, is now we have a really dinky win con here. They're going to Lorien. They're going to attack. That seems aggressive, unless they have a Terror here, which is pretty bad for us. Sleep of the Dead. Okay, fair enough. That is... not a terrible... It's a pretty bad draw. It's not the worst card to have if they get another creature, but man, I would have preferred so many more things. Mental Note. Of course, we don't have this Dispel active, unfortunately. Settle down. They can also just sleep these guys, which I guess is really not that bad if that's what they're doing. Yup. Like if their goal is 8 turns with the Bird Illusion, we actually have a chance. Okay. Give us something good. Nezumi Link Breaker. Beetle. Not a swamp, please. Shambling Ghast would have at least let us have Dispel or a kill spell for the Bird Illusion. Remember, a Cursed Marauder is non-token creature, which is why we were able to kill both the Serpents, but why we're not able to kill a Bird Illusion, even if I wanted to. Sleep of the Dead on a vampire. They're really going for it. I mean, they only have like 3 more uses of it. Snuff out. Oh my god. Is there a world where I pay 4 life to snuff this out? No. I have 4 more turns before that becomes a problem. I mean, what else am I going to use it on, though? I can already Marauder the first creature they get anyway. If this hits us 2 times, I'm not going to be able to use it on anything else. Of course, if I get a Swamp, I can just cast this and not lose all the life, which makes it so that if I draw a Swamp, it's actually not bad. I think we're going to take it. Could be the wrong call. Here's a Sleep of the Dead. They do go for the double sleep, which means that they only have 4 spells in their grave, so they're making terrors harder to come out. Link Breaker is a good draw. Just a double body creature is pretty nice. They have a counter spell for it. Do I snuff this out now? I'd go to 1, which is not that different from 2 or any other number. Although if I snuff it out and they have a Dispel, I guess I lose the game. I think I'd rather just have more turns. I don't really want to lose to a Dispel, which they could easily have because they've been sandbagging things for a while. A couple cards. Obviously, they only have 1 left at this point. All right, we are going to take it. Sleep on a vampire. Can't sleep the other one, though. Here's a Link Breaker. That resolves. Swing. 1, 2. All right, we're going to go for a Marauder here. We might play into a Force Spike, I'm realizing. Yep, that's fine. Marauder is looking a little weird, but it was going to sack the Link Breaker to make it so I have a Mercenary. It would actually give me lethal next turn, potentially. Not to mention the fact that it would just it would allow me to have a 2/1 and a Mercenary instead of just this 1/1. Taking 1 here. They got anything? They have a Terror for 4. I can't snuff out a Terror because of the ward. 2, 3. This can be a 7/7. If I get another double body creature, I could make one of these lethal, or like a Stamina or something if it doesn't get countered. Gut Shot is their last card. Okay. And then that's going to let them sleep this one. Interesting. One more time. We're not dead. Pretty close. Shambling Ghast is good. That lets us kill the bird. Or it lets us have a Dispel up. Or it lets us snuff out for full cost. But that's worse. Okay, we have chump blockers. Not attacking with the terror. I think I'd take this. This could be almost lethal on this guy. They're going to pass. Okay, we draw a swamp. So if I attack with this, I'd have to sacrifice all 3 of these to kill the terror and not lose this. Seems bad. But I'm already going to sacrifice this to pick off the bird. Unless I just want to snuff this out. I probably do, because I want to keep my creatures around, and this isn't killing this anytime soon. Unless I get another swamp or something. Alright, we're going to pass to their turn, and I'm going to snuff out their bird. See if we get Force Spiked. I do still have the ability to Shambling Ghast pick this off if I really need to. So maybe using the snuff out there is bad, because if they get like a Cryptic Serpent, I'd prefer to have that. They go for a Ponder. We used 1 Marauder. No, we used both Marauders, didn't we? So I don't have Marauder as an option here. They shuffle their library. They attack. That means they got another guy. Okay, they decide not to attack. They did get another guy, and it's a Serpent. Yeah, I might have punted there a little bit. Oh, well, I guess punt unpunted, maybe. Kill the Serpent. And if they have a counterspell, I can Shambling Ghast to Dispel it. Play an island. Pass. Greedy Freebooter. Okay. Now, if I attack... Ooh, I can actually give -1/-1 for 2 mana, which means I only have to sacrifice 2 creatures. So that's actually worth it now, I think. I guess I could have done that before, but we were having some trouble with their creatures for a second there. So -1/-1, we're paying 2 mana for this effect. Makes it a 4/4, which means I can sacrifice the Freebooter. I want to have the Dispel, but actually I want to have the Mercenary available, so I'll waste a damage this turn, but then I get a Mercenary, and I have more creatures to attack now. And if they go for something I want to Dispel, I can still do that. They could sleep this now. I kind of want to counter a Thought Scour, because it just gives them value for the sleep, and it's a card draw. So I think we are going to do this. It's a little awkward. We get a Village Rites. Don't love setting our creatures back. I think we're going to keep that. I guess maybe I should now hold the Dispel to protect the Village Rites, but I just don't want them to draw more cards, of course, and I don't want the Sleep of the Dead to go crazier again. They're still going to have to use it here to tap this. Attack with a Mercenary, and we're going to Village Rites it. They have 1 card. We're hoping it's not a counter or Dispel, but I feel like they might have used that on that. Okay, Beetle's good. Good-ish. We've sacrificed just about everything that makes it good, but anything else we get could be decent. They find another Thought Scour, of course. Mill a Thought Scour and a Demon Inferior. They find a Terror. If we don't get creatures to chump block, then they can tap these. I guess they have to tap this turn probably. Unless they're... Yeah, we need some fodder though. Otherwise we have to chump block with a beetle, which is not great. Another beetle. Okay, that helps a little bit. Pass the turn. Thought Scour. Okay, Sleep of the Dead. Working more. If they get 2 more cards in their yard, they can just double sleep and we lose. Didn't get that, but they are attacking. So I'll have to lose a beetle here, which means they surely got another creature, or they're just not scared anymore. Yeah, there's a terror. They're gonna tap the vampire, which means I'm dead if I don't get fodder. Even if I do, I'm not in a great spot because I have to chump with the beetle. If they can't use sleep here, I chump. They'd have to fear the vampire hitting them for lethal. They drew a sleep. Well, so close. Crazy game. That was only game 2. So let's see if we can get them on the play. Beetle, Vampire, Village Rites. God, why can't I get a Carrion Feeder? But also, no fodder feels like it's probably not keepable. Like, Beetle, Vampire's good, but they could, like, gut shot the Beetle, Force Spike the Vampire. But Beetle is really what I've been missing. I think we're going to keep. I mean, we lost last game despite all of that stuff we had probably because I started with kind of a weak hand. We could probably do better. They have the gut shot, of course. We draw a swamp. And then I'll get Force Spiked. Everything that I called. No, they'll just have another gut shot maybe. Thought Scour. They mill a gut shot. Oh, look at that. Pass. Stamina. Well, we have a vampire. We took 2 vampires out and we proceeded to only ever draw them. Brainstorm. Mental note. I could have gone for like a stamina Village Rites there. I thought about it. I don't think it was worthwhile. They have a terror. Give me a Nested Shambler. I'll take it. Stamina, Village Rites. They could dispel. They just milled a dispel, so maybe they had multiple. But we got to make something happen here. Now we get a Shambler. Ooh, but Unearth on a Beetle. If we get Force Spiked, it's so bad. They did leave up a blue, so maybe I shouldn't. But 4 mana, I feel like, okay, they Force Spike us. I feel like keeping that's crazy when we have so many lands. Like, I could have played around it, obviously, by waiting till the next turn. Clearly, that would have worked out better. But then if they just have an actual counterspell for it, I still lose my Beetle. Plus, it can't attack as quickly. I don't know. They Ponder and then Thought Scour. Demon Inferior on the Vampire. We kind of need it. So I'll put it second from the top. Another Shambler. Attack with a Mercenary. Block with the Link Breaker. They have a Terror, and surely they have a counter spell, seeing as they know this is coming. Pass the turn. Maybe I should have pumped the Shambler with the Mercenaries and attacked. If they block, I get 3 squirrels. That's pretty good, actually. Should have done that. They Demon Inferior on a Shambler. Well, that'll go on the bottom. I guess I block one of these here. Shambling Ghast. We'll attack. I mean, we're dead to anything. Probably didn't keep the right hand. Probably didn't play right, and that's going to lose us the game. Probably should do those things better next time. Yeah, they have a Demon Inferior, and we're gonna die. Triple Demon is pretty crazy too, but all right, this looks like a pretty decent opener. A lot better if Marauder is good in the matchup. If we're able to, like, I am gonna lead on Beetle here, even though it could die to a Bolt or something, because it's our only 1-drop, and it goes well with the Marauder if we can snag a 1-drop here, which we are lucky enough to get. Double Unearth too. I mean, I'm assuming this is probably like a Spy Walls. This is one of the best starts we can have. Literally, they could play 2 more creatures next turn. That'll just grow our Beetle to a 7/7. They have another Tinderwall. Also, if they're relying on this Tinderwall, then they're going to be sorely unhappy with this. Attack. They have a 3rd Tinderwall. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? And we have a Fling. Not that I think we'll need it. And we'll attack for 7. And now even if they get a creature that I don't kill immediately, they have to chump block with it. So that's going to die immediately anyway. If we get a Shambling Ghast or something, I could use a Fling or a Temur Battle Rage, but we don't even need to do that. Attack for 7. They will block, and they're going to pass. So it looks like they did not have another creature to play. They're going to lose to the Beetle. I mean, literally Spy or Walls or whichever it is the number 1 matchup I would have wanted to have that hand against. It would have been decent against Elves as well because it was pretty fast, but Elves has a lot cheaper cards, a lot more 1-drops, and so this was better there. All right, so we just bring in Snuff Outs because they're Walls or Spy or something, and that's pretty good there. Fling is probably not bad either, or Temur Battle Rage. Maybe we keep those in with the Vampires. Oh, probably take out some Vampires. Marauder seems good enough, obviously. Sage. I could also just cut some Freebooters and the Temur Battle Rages. Maybe we'll do like 1 of each. I'm not sure the Battle Rage is necessary, but they're going to have jump blockers, and it could definitely be good enough. This one is not going to work. All right, let's run it back. I mean, we're on the draw, so this could absolutely backfire here, but I don't know. Seems decent. Oh, stamina also. Wall of Roots. Caretaker taps. They play it in Overgrown Battlement. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Oh, now we get a Beetle? Come on. I got a Marauder this turn. I could Beetle, but then I get to do nothing, and the next turn I Marauder twice. But here I can Marauder once, and then I can still Marauder twice next turn with the Beetle. So the Beetle would be able to attack earlier. Also, this kind of falls apart if they just have like a Fairy Macabre, which they definitely could have brought in. Looks like regular walls. They're not having any difficulty playing forests. And like they don't need to be searching them up. Yeah, there's a Shield Wall Sentinel. This plan might not work well enough then. They get an Axebane Guardian, which they can cast if they sack their Tinder Wall, which would help us a little bit. I could also just triple Marauder. Ugh, do I need to? Obviously, that we really need a Beetle to actually have a win con, though. We got to go for the Beetle. Marauder, and I think we just use the double Unearth. So this might not be good enough because they get to keep their 2 big mana producers. But, oh, now I can't stamina this if I wanted. I was keeping the stamina because what if I get like a Nested Shambler or something, but I actually can't Marauder again now, which I could have if I had kept the Unearth and used the stamina, so I actually should have done that. Yeah, of course, they lead the Stampede into Overgrown Battlement, Valakut, literally Haste Enabler, Beast Rider Vanguard, Win Con, and Infinite Outlet. So unless we get a Snuff Out, we're dead. I guess I could Blood Throne, Village Rites itself, because like Alchemist just combos with this. Yeah, we made that mistake a little bit, but it didn't end up mattering. That like turn, if we had had Beetle turn 1, this would be a very different game because I could have attacked for like so much more. Oh, I should have sacrificed the Vampire before damage there, but oh well. Because we need a Snuff Out to not just lose on the spot, and we didn't get it. Yeah, that Beetle coming a turn late was really annoying. Let's go again. This just dirtles too much. It's like an okay-ish hand in a slower matchup, I guess. I mean, we still want to be fast, obviously, but this one, one lander, but we're going to keep it. Hope to draw another land and then Snuff Outs from then on out. They also mulligan, but we get to Feeder into Beetle, and then we get to make them 3/3s and 5/5s and stuff pretty quick. Caretaker. Snuff Out is nice. I played the Beetle, and I basically let them get a free block here. Oops. I could have attacked first, and they could have a stamina or something. Whatever. I still wanted to get the Beetle down. I could Snuff Out the Caretaker here, and they can't tap. I think we let it go, and I just save the Snuff Out for the more important creature, whatever that may be. Winding Way. Okay. They turn up 4 creatures. Swamp. Another Snuff Out is pretty good. Sack this right away. Do I want to make them 3/3s or keep this for the Shambler? I'll make it 6. Next turn I can make it 10. I could, if I get a Swamp, make it 14 next turn, which would be lethal already. So I think we do this. And with 2 Snuff Outs, the chances, if we can get a Swamp, make it lethal, the chances the 2 Snuff Outs makes it so I can clear the blockers is almost 100%. So there's another Caretaker, Overgrown Battlement. I mean, maybe they leave all of these up as blockers, but I guess with only 1 mana, maybe they do. It's fine. Not a Swamp. Link Breaker, swing with the team, block here. We're going to sack this for a Mercenary anyway, so let's do that, get the 1 extra damage, and then kill that. We'll Snuff Out the Battlement. Pass. Not going to kill a Caretaker. Not yet anyway. Winding Way. Finds 4 more creatures, including a Tinder Wall, a Orochi Leafcaller. Now we get our Swamp. So if I play Shambler, pump it with the Mercenary, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are both 9 power, so not quite lethal. So snuffing one of these out doesn't make sense. I can already force one of them to block, and then I can Marauder one away. So I think we just do that to reduce their creature count. Oh, they do chump both. That's also fine by me. Marauder. I guess Maraudering first would have given us more damage, but obviously it didn't end up mattering here. They have the Tinder Wall. We'll just pass. I don't think I want to Snuff Out Tinder Wall. Beast Rider Vanguard. Yeah, they sack the Tinder Wall, which grows our Beetle to play the Battlement. Cycle a Genericent for a Forest. Plays that. Oh, Stamina. Easy game. So I could just snuff one of these out. Probably should have been the other one, to be fair, but this is lethal, so it doesn't really matter. They have to chump block, and then we can make this 9 power with the Shambler coming back. And they concede. All right. All right, we are against Kalikais, as we are every couple of weeks. This one is... It's not quite fast enough to be against whatever he's usually playing. We can make like 1/4/4. I don't think that's good enough. I think we got a mulligan. This one we're going to keep. It's rough because we need a swamp, but we can start with a Shambler into a Village Rites. Hopefully we can get the swamps, get a beetle and a vampire, etc. Put back this Teamer Battle Rage, I think, because we don't currently have the way to cast it, which seems to be the case pretty often, unfortunately. I would like to actually see a Fling or a Teamer Battle Rage come up in one of these games at some point. Start with the Shambler and pass. More Ruby Storm. Swing for 1. Hope for that swamp. And we don't get it. Unlucky. Reckless Impulse. To big score and seize the storm. I mean, those are pretty bad hits for him, which is nice for us. I absolutely have to hit a land drop. Otherwise, we're going to lose, so I'm going to just go for this. And if we don't get there, what are you going to do? I'll discard a vampire. Even though his Reckless was pretty bad, I think we're just going to lose here. Going to go for an Anarchomancer into a Manamorphose. I mean, that can cast the big score immediately. Desperate Ritual. Yeah, he's just going off, I guess. Finds a Seething Song. Goes for the big score. Goes for the Seize the Storm. I mean, literally, just getting a 7/7 is kind of, I would say, not very good generally. Pretty good when your opponent misses 3 lands in a row. I mean, if we have any shot, it's playing a beetle, passing, and we can, like, maybe grow the beetle in probably not 1 turn, but 2 turns to be big enough to block the elemental. Although it grows as he plays more things. Big score, first day of class. Usually when you cast, or what is it, draw 7 extra cards, you find a swamp, but I guess not for us this time. Another Seize the Storm. Oh, right. Well, we didn't necessarily have a lot of interaction for that, but if we just had drawn our things, I think we might have had a better shot. Blue Blasts are obviously coming in, and I feel like Fling might be okay. They're almost never going to block. I feel like the Village Rites are kind of bad. We don't want to be slowing down at all, to be honest. Maybe we cut them all, actually. Don't rely on them, and we get the Battle Rages back in there. All right. Definitely a test for the sideboard here. Not sure this is the correct way to be doing it, but we'll give it a try. Could also bring in, like, Dispels, but I don't really like that. Here we have a Beetle, and then if they play a creature, I can Marauder it if I get a Swamp again, and then I have no interaction otherwise. I mean, I have a Ghast. This isn't good enough. It's close. This one's not going to work. I mean, I guess this hand's okay as far as 5-card hands go. They also mulligan to 5. Stamina's higher upside, but obviously Ghast is at least something for one of these. Picks off a Thornscape. It can also get our splash. I think we're doing this. Carrion Feeder and pass. Tap land. There's a Blue Blast, which I can use. I think I'm going to wait. I kind of want to sack this, just hold up the Blue Blast, but if they play Thornscape here off their woodlot, I'd like to kill it with the Shambling Ghast. Perfect. A second Shambling Ghast solves that problem, so we can make a treasure, grow these guys, and also have the ability to pick off a Thornscape. Hit for 5 here. If he goes for an Anarchomancer, I probably just Blue Blast it. Glimpse the Impossible. Makes blockers if nothing else. I think it's fine though. Land drop and a Manamorphose. Yeah, two spawn. I mean, it was a 1-for-1 that also gives him some life, so wasn't bad by any means. He doesn't block. We're gonna just make these enormous though. 9 damage. Yep. So they'll both be lethal next turn. Woodlot. Okay. Link Breaker. I mean, he might not think he's dead, but I can pick off one of these spawn with the Ghast. So we'd need to have Weather the Storm maybe. Okay, we got there. Didn't even need to show the Blue Blast, so that's cool. See what we can do for the last game here. We have the Marauder and the 2 lands this time, but like, unless he plays a creature early, like there's just no guarantee he's going to play the creature into removal. In fact, I think he's going to actively avoid that, so I think I got to mulligan this. Well, now I feel like I have to keep. It's 6 cards. A double Marauder is like decent, I guess, but again, I'm not really expecting it to be that good. Shambling Ghast is decent. Let's get a feeder going. He's going to pass. Okay, Beetle's a great draw. I think we'll save the Shambling Ghast in case I get a splash card. Like, I don't want to just cycle it for an extra damage here. We do need to get some damage going, so even though I could get a stamina, I'm just going to use the Shambler immediately to pump this to 3. Pass. Play an Anarchomancer. Please. Big score. Nope. Swamp. Shambling Ghast. 8 damage. Well, on the off chance I can get him to fizzle, or he just naturally fizzles, the Marauders could be good next turn. Oh, I probably needed to sack the Ghast to make it lethal next turn definitively, but I want to hold it up in case he gets just a Thornscape Familiar. I don't know. There's a Ren's Resolve. Revelation and a land. Okay. Seething Song. 3 mana for the Revelation. Discarding another. There's the Anarchomancer. And a Seething Song. I can't kill... If I had like a stamina for the Shambling Ghast, I would absolutely pick off the Anarchomancer here. Glimpse the Impossible. Desperate Ritual, first day of class Glimpse. Well, that might just be enough to keep it going. Another Glimpse. First day of class, Ren's Resolve, Manamorphose, hits a Ren's Resolve, hits a Seething Song. I mean, pretty perfectly finds the exact cards he needs. Thornscape. This is an instant, isn't it? So if I try to pick this off, I guess he doesn't have green mana for Origin of Metal Bending. So we're going to try to kill this. Cast another Electric Revelation, discarding a first day of class. Casts a first day of class. Finding what? Oh, he discarded with it. Okay. Glimpse goes off, finds another Thornscape. No green man at the moment. It's a couple lands. Another first day. Discards a Crevice. And he passes. He gets a bunch of spawn. Which all get counters. Okay, 2 counters. I mean, that's not nothing. I do get to kill his Archaeomancer, which is really good. He also played a land, so like he's not fully out of this, although I thought a little bit. So if I attack, they could triple block the Beetle. If I play a Marauder, I could attack past, but then I'm wasting the Marauder. What are the chances he can go off again next turn? Probably low. Dude, the counters on the spawn is crazy. That's actually so good. 3 2/3s. I can't even get through. I think I'm gonna opt to hold the Marauder and hope he plays another creature this turn that I can kill or something. I mean, I need to draw a creature that can grow this. Of course I don't. If I play Marauder, I sack it to itself. This can start attacking in. I guess I have to do that now. He's not going to play the creature. If he wasn't going to play it there, he's not going to play it at all until he goes off, of course. So attack with the Beetle. I could attack with both, and then he'd just have to... I'd only be trading this for 1 spawn. When he fizzled, I thought we were going to win 100%, and the spawn gave him some blockers, but the fact that they got the counters is crazy good. No blocks. Yeah, you might want that mana. He's sacking a spawn for mana, so he's going off again. Thornscape, sack another. Desperate Ritual. Was that a Desperate Ritual with another spliced on? Oh my god. Revelation. There's another. Electric Revelation. Reckless Impulse. These are exiled, but there's a Manamorphose into a Morphos, into an Anarchomancer. Glimpse the Impossible. Feels like he's going to get there. And we don't even have... Like, I think he got rid of every first day of class, so we might not have speed. Like, I think I saw 3. Maybe he's playing 4. So I might not have haste, but unless I get Village Rites, of which I took out, so I can't do that, into... I can't even get a Fling, is my point. Or like a Temur Battle Rage, because I don't have the treasure for it. I could have gotten a treasure from the Shambling Ass. I think it was definitely right to pick off that Thornscape, but yeah, big score, goes even. Desperate Ritual, a Narcomancer. Seize the Storm, 25-25. Yeah, so I would need a Fling here. Or 29-29. They're 30-30s. I would need a Fling and a way to cast it. Well, that's pretty unfortunate. It's kind of close. The spawn getting counters just screwed us over. All right, so we got a 3-2 with the deck, which is not bad at all. Some of those matches were pretty close, even the ones we lost, which I guess we lost the Terror matchup, which generally should be, decent for us. But I do think that this is a worse version against Terror, since we can already harvest them pretty easily with the normal sideboard. So we're making that a little bit worse of a matchup for us to hopefully make everything else a little better. So hoping to get that Ruby Storm win. We didn't even get to show them the Blue Blasts because we won that game that we had them, and we didn't get them when we didn't win. I will say I've pretty much still yet to use either of these. Obviously as 1-ofs or 2-ofs, we don't get them super often, but it's also just not always, they're situational cards. They're not always the right thing, but it just feels like they don't come up at the right times. So I don't know. I'm going to keep experimenting with this list. I will say I'm not sold that it's any better than the mono black list. I think that a lot of the wins we've been getting have been wins that we probably could have gotten with just a standard game plan anyway, and we're maybe just muddling that up and making it worse. But I still think there's a lot of room to explore this, so I'm pretty excited to keep it going. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to my supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out my YouTube memberships where you can get early access to videos. Thanks to my current $10 and up supporters, Howard Granger, Halcaz, DJ Vinyl, Paladil C, Blackjack Davey, Max, Someone You Know PK, Lucas Lage 3463, and Heckboy 1337. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.